So that's it for me. Oh, Steve is coming on the stage. Okay, that's great. All right, all right.
To Steve C and TDC Tunes, two players of Rising Star, two musicians, they're NFTs in the game. Can I show of hands if you know what Rising Star is, if you've heard of it? Okay, good. And keep your hands up if you still play it. Okay, nice. So you know what that was all about. And everyone else is like, what just happened? Cool. Right, let's go. So, have you ever dreamed of being a star? Yeah, in the bathroom, with a hairdryer maybe, in front of the mirror. Millions of adoring fans. But real life didn't allow it. Well, now's your chance to do it virtually. So you start as an illegal busker, which is what you just saw, okay? It's a passive game. You basically go in, you click a button, and you wait for your mission to finish. You start as an illegal busker. You basically busk until the police come along and chase you away. And then you carry out missions, and you earn star bits, which is our first token. And you also earn XP, so you can level up. You build your fan base by collecting NFTs, which you can buy with the star bits. There's a very big active NFT marketplace, which you can use the in-game marketplace. You can also use third-party like NFT Mart, etc., to trade those. And you progress through the zones, trying to become a worldwide musician and build a massive following. But as your fan base grows, so does your ego. So you have to manage that by taking music lessons. Okay, and the music lessons will bring your ego down. So you're balancing building your fan base and try not to become a big head, as we like to say in the UK. There are multiple game modes. I'm going to go through these quite quickly because most of you probably already know. But it starts out as a very simple click and forget game. And this game was developed by my wife, Julie, who you will know from the Discord if you've ever been in there, and myself as a lockdown project because we needed something to do while we were stuck inside the house. I'm an old-fashioned coder using classic ASP, knew nothing about blockchain. Some amazing people on Hive, Gerber, etc., who helped me out. Steve C. was an amazing supporter of mine when I was on Steemit as just a musician, and I built Atom Collector Records, which is an old platform that we used to use. It's a bit quiet now. So it's an experimental thing. I just found blockchain absolutely fascinating, and I got the only thing I can coding is classic ASP. So anything that needed to be done on the blockchain, I reached out, and amazing developers on Hive helped me, and JavaScript stuff that I needed for the front end, I found developers that I could pay to just do certain bits, and then I could learn it myself and modify it. So there are multiple game modes that get added because I like to experiment and try new things and add them to the game. So I can throw things in, develop them. Because I'm the only developer that's full-time on the game, and I've been doing classic ASP for quite a few years, I can develop new things quite quickly as long as it doesn't involve flashy front-end stuff. So we've got standard missions, we've got special missions, we've got something called the Festival World Tour, we've got Music Promoter, which I'll talk about a bit later, we've got the Custom Shop where you can mint your own NFTs by collecting parts, and we've got the music lessons to bring your ego down. You can build your NFT collection. We release new NFTs every month to keep things fresh. And people like to try and collect. We love collecting, don't we? We're like magpies. Anything that's a bit shiny, we want to collect it all. So NFTs in game. Every month we release new ones, and we have basically a live stream every month where I release all of the new cards one by one, and people save up all their star bits and all their packs lined up, ready to open. We have thousands of packs being opened, and the queue is really long because my code's a little bit clunky, so it can take a few hours for the NFTs to go out on that one day a month. It's quite good fun every month. You can also manage a band. So you can take the NFTs that you've got and you can plug them in to build a band. And every combination of a person, well, not every, but most combinations of a person and an instrument actually create real music. So you can mix your own song effectively by having different instruments and different singers. And you can experiment, moving it around, click the play button and listen and see if you like it. So that's another little experimental thing that I did. The music fair, as I mentioned, you can go to the music fair and you get a random part dropped with different levels, like the gold parts are really hard to get, and the silver parts you get too many and you'll start swearing because you get so many of the silver ones. But that allows you to combine the parts to make an NFT. And then one thing that crypto teaches all of us, before all the current global economic crisis that we've got, is inflation. I didn't know what inflation was until I was about 45. And people said this thing, inflation, no, don't worry about that. I've got enough money to buy what I need. I don't need to care about inflation. And then I learned about Bitcoin. Oh, that's what inflation is. Okay, get it now. This is countering inflation. But then I made the mistake of releasing an inflationary coin in my game. So to try and get around that problem, we introduced something called Star Pro. Now, if we'd have designed the game again, learning from those mistakes, we would have had a fixed supply token that gets split between the players. So that's kind of what we do now. Star Pro is a maximum of 100 a day go out, but it's algorithmically linked to the price of our other token, which is the inflationary one, which is Starbits, okay? And if the Starbits price comes down too much, then the amount of Star Pro going out comes down as well. The only way to mint Star Pro is to burn Star Bits. So what we do is we're forcing people to burn their Star Bits to get the Star Pro, which is stabilizing the token prices. So that was the goal quite recently, to get that stabilized, to get us through the bear market and be in a strong position when we come out the other side. And I'm pleased to say it seems to be working. There's also the festival tour. As I said, every week it changes to a new country. It takes an entire calendar year to go around every one. You collect a wristband NFT, and then you can blend wristbands into band members. And then if you've done the whole year or you've bought the wristbands, you can blend band members into a festival band. We're going to be releasing new bands every year, so that keeps that fresh. But that requires Star Pro to be used. So both Starbits and Star Pro have in-game uses, okay? And as we move forward, talking about the blending. As we move forward, we're going to be using Star Pro for more and more features. My T-shirt is giving you a little hint at something I'm going to be announcing today, which is our biggest update to the game. But the Star Pro token is becoming more and more important in the game, but you don't have to use it. If you want to be, one thing I meant to mention, if you want to be a free-to-play player, it was really, really important to me that this game was open to anybody in the world. So you can play it free-to-play. We have players that have been playing it we're nearly 2.5 years, the game's been live now, and we have players that have played it from the beginning and they haven't invested anything. And they've grown their account up to be quite big. I didn't want people to have to buy a starter pack, and I didn't want people to have to go out and find somebody to support them to play the game. That does create a problem with multi-accounting and bots, so we have very stringent rules and systems in place to stop that happening. My wife works very, very hard checking accounts quite a lot to make sure, to try and eliminate it. We can't get rid of it 100%, but we get rid of it as much as we can, and it will always be free to play. I think that's really important. We want everyone to have access to this game. Right, musicians, like Steve, can mint their own music as well as a record NFT in the game. That music, you can play the track in the game if you've bought the NFT. Also, having unique cards adds to the rankings. Okay, there's a kind of a formula for ranking that allows you to see where you're ranking compared to other players, and having unique cards is one of them. But we have musicians who mint their music. I even had someone today who said, I've got my music on vinyl, but I make more money selling my music in the game on NFTs. You can trade cards. Be a bit pointless if you couldn't. And now the big announcement. How am I doing on time? Okay. Raves, in case you didn't realize. We're introducing raves. Now, up to this point, it's been a very solitary game, okay? You carry out your missions. We've got a vibrant community who communicate a little bit on Discord and do lots of posts about the game, but it's effectively a solitary game. But we're changing that. The way raves is going to work is we have something called record signing, which is the last update that we did. Okay, by doing record signing, again, it requires Star Pro to be able to do it. By doing record signing, you gain fan cards, and it's a random drop at the end of the mission. You either get an FA1, 2, 3, or 4 card that contains a certain number of fans. What you will do with raves is you will choose a rave. There'll be a rave going on all the time, one rave going on, but you don't know when it's going to end, okay? The same as a normal rave. You don't know when it's going to end. So what will happen is you'll send your FA cards and you'll pick a color, okay? So when you send your fans in, the earlier you send your fans into the rave, the better your bonus will be at the end. The rave that has the most fans when the rave ends will be the winner. But you can send the police in. So we're going to add strategy. So if you want to get together with a group of people and you can say, right, we're going to buy some police raid NFTs, but we won't send them in until a little bit later. But you don't know when the rave's going to end, just like a real rave. So you can strategize with people privately or in public or whatever and say, right, we'll all go into the blue rave. We'll just send a few fans. We'll wait to see which other raves are going to build up and be really big. And then we're going to call the police. And we'll put a call in. And we'll all send our calls in at the end, which we hope is going to be the end, but we don't know when it's going to end, so it's a little bit unknown. And we'll send the police in to raid the one that's got the most, and then we'll win. So there's that. And then we're probably going to have hoax call cards as well, which will counter the police raid calls. And we've got loads of ideas. It basically opens up a new mechanism going forward. Now, one thing that a lot of people have criticized in the game is I need more incentive to collect the cards. So, for example, if I've bought record NFTs or I've got all of the rapper cards, for example, what's my incentive? Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to have a bonus. So if every time there's a rave, there'll be a different bonus. So it might be a vinyl rave, okay? And so if you have 10 vinyls, for example, so if you have 10 record NFTs from in the game, we'll count those as vinyls, and you're going to get a bonus if your rave wins. The way we're going to fund this is we're going to have pools. We're still going to work out the finer details. So this isn't going live as soon as I finish this talk. We're still working on it. The raves are already running in the background, and we're testing it. And we're going to ask for people to come in and help us test it. But one thing that we did was during the bull market, we kept all of the profits for myself and my wife in the game and in the accounts. And we've been putting some into HBD savings, and I've been trading a bit as well. And we're building up enough that we can start with a reward pool, and maybe we get the 20% APR on Hive HBD, and then we'll maybe put 10% in the reward pool, and then use the other 10% to slowly build it up, so we can keep increasing the reward pool and other mechanisms. So that's what we'll be able to do. Have I missed anything? Oh yeah, VIPs. So there's a card called the Backstage Pass, which costs 1 Star Pro. Every rave, each color will have 3 VIPs, and they will be the people in that rave with the most backstage passes. So again, bit of strategy. You might look and say, the red rave is doing so well. It's got 80% of all the fans at it. It looks like it's going to win, but I haven't got enough backstage passes, so I can't become a VIP and get the VIP bonus. So I'm going to wait, and maybe I'm going to go into the blue one, because I've also got police raid cards, so I can go into the blue one, become a VIP, and then raid the one that looks like it's going to win. So you don't know what's going to happen. And once you've got a few raves going on, you're probably going to learn who's got the cards. But then they might go and buy some more. So that's how the VIP backstage pass is going to work. So that's a new use case, because it used to be used, or is still used, for other things in the game. And then just finally, we do have a proposal that's been out for quite a few months. We haven't had much feedback on it. I did get a bit of feedback today to say one of the reasons that it hasn't been voted on could be because we use Hive Engine and we don't write to the main chain very often, and that may be a reason. I'd really welcome feedback to know. The game will survive. We're running on fumes at the moment. Luckily, I ran some businesses in the past, so I was kind of retired anyway, so I don't need to take an income. So I love it. It's my passion. It's my little baby writing the code for this game. So the game will survive, but if we get the proposal through, it means we can move the development on a bit quicker. But I'd really welcome, if you've looked at the proposal and decided not to vote on it, please feedback to me. Because if there's something we can do, I'm open to try and do it, as long as it's not going to be like too complicated or whatever. But that's it, really. Any questions?
The busker.
When's Mr. TDC going to be a legendary?
That's got to be coming soon, hasn't it, I think? Yeah. So we have a lot of musicians and also just players. One thing I meant to mention is there's a mini game that I created called Battle of the Bands. It's built for Twitch streamers. So we've been using Twitch as a marketing tool to bring players in. We get a lot of players that have come from Wax, etc. What the game does is it just picks random cards from the entire collection, and people can sign into the game and join a Twitch stream, and they can win whatever prizes that Twitch streamer is giving out. And we have Twitch streamers that are NFTs within the game. We have musicians that are NFTs in the game. Steve is a legendary in the game. So yeah. And I was, I kind of put it off for ages. I felt a bit weird being in my own game, but I am now a legendary card. Any other questions?
Yes.
I remember I first voted your proposal because I was in line with the dev marketing presentation we did yesterday, bringing new projects, new apps, and so on. And I don't remember why I removed my vote, because you already have a lot of players and so on. And I said to myself, why don't you create your own business and your own incomes from your game, like Splinterlands is doing? Mm-hmm. You have a market, I see. I think you're taking fees on transactions. Is that not enough? I would be happy to support it if it can help you to bootstrap your application. But I think on the long term, you should be autonomous with your finance.
I totally agree, and that's always been the goal. And like most projects, during the bull market, that was happening. We were able to fund. I have somebody who is also a musician and a good friend who is a full-time illustrator who does all the cards, and another person who does the card outline, the design. Right now, we're virtually getting nothing in because it's a free-to-play game, so we have to support that. And it's very dear to my heart that we keep it free to play, even if I never take a penny from the game, because we've had some very touching stories of people that have played the game. I even had somebody whose mum, who died recently, unfortunately, he sent me pictures of her playing it in a hospital bed. I mean, it was, it's very touching. So it's really important that it's free to play, and I'd rather not take any money. When we're in the next bull market, that's definitely going to happen again. But yeah, you can look on chain and see what we've got coming in. We did quite well, which is what I was saying. We've kept it in the accounts. We've powered a lot of it up, but probably because it's free to play. And maybe with the changes we've made with Star Pro now, as we go forward, we haven't sold many tokens. I mean, most people would sell the token to fund. Yeah, we've sold a bit, but not that much. So the proposal was really there to help us move things through the bear market and also just pay the team. They've not really been paid that much. So yeah, I agree. That would be the ultimate goal. I'd love to be there, and let's hope that happens.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jux. Thank you.
Thank you.